Hey guys, in this video we will build the following data entry form from scratch. Let me shortly explain what this entry form does. I've got here a Word document and inserted different placeholders like the client and vendor name and some fields that I want to calculate, like today's date in 1 week and a non-refundable fee which is 20% of the total amount. In our entry form I can then gather the user's input. After pressing the Create Contract button, Python has generated a new Word document for us. If we look at this new document, we can see that all the placeholders have been substituted and that Python has calculated the correct date and the non-refundable amount. The entry form is entirely written in Python in only 30 lines of code. At the end of this video, we will also be converting the Python script into a standalone executable file. In doing so, colleagues and friends could also use this entry form without installing Python. And without further ado, let us get started. To kick things off, let us begin with a simple example. For this, I will create a new Word document and name it my Word template. Within this template, I will write hello, my name is, followed by the placeholder inside curly brackets. Once we have our template, we can manipulate it using Python. In particular, we will be using the docxtpl library. You can install this module by typing pip install docxtpl in your command prompt or terminal. And with that in place, I will create a blank Python file. As a first step, I will import the required dependencies. As we will be also dealing with different file paths, I will import path from pathlib. Pathlib is a standard Python module and was introduced with Python 3.4. Therefore, no additional installation is required. Next, I will import docs_template from docxtpl. After importing the dependencies, I will specify the path to our Word document. My Python file is located under the following path. And the parent directory would be this part of the path. Within this folder, I will specify my Word template. Now I can use this path to initialize the docs_template object. The important part is the following Python dictionary. This dictionary will be our mapping table. So in my case, I would like to replace name with Sven. And now I can use this mapping table to render our document and save it within the same folder, so the parent directory of my current Python file. After executing this file, we have our new document. And within this document, we can see that Python has substituted the name. Okay, now that you know how this library works, let us take it one step further. I will copy our script and paste it into the example from the intro and rename it. Before diving into the Python code, I would like to highlight a couple of things. This time I would also like to do some calculations in Python. For example, Python should calculate today's date in 1 week. Additionally, there's a non-refundable fee of 20% within this contract. So the end user should only enter the amount and Python should calculate the respective price. Okay, and with that said, let us go back to our Python file. First, I'm going to change the name of the Word document. Next, I will make some space to create the different variables for the placeholders. So we've got the client and vendor name and the amount. As mentioned already, I will calculate the non-refundable fee by multiplying the amount by 0.2. I will round the result by 2 decimals as we are dealing with currencies. Then we've got 2 lines where I'm going to write some text. To get today's date, I will also import datetime. Now I can use today on the datetime class. To calculate the date in 1 week, I add a time delta of 7 days to this day. Okay, and with that in place, the only thing left to do is to construct our dictionary. By default, the dates will include a timestamp. However, I am only interested in the year, month and day information. That is the reason I have typed it like this here. I will use an F string to insert the vendor name into the output name. And that is all there is to it. Let me run the script and open our new Word document. As we can see, the placeholders have been successfully replaced, including the calculations for the date and the non-refundable amount. Let us now move on to the final step, the graphical user interface. There's one library I really love as it makes the whole process of the GUI creation so simple. The library is called PySimpleGUI. You can install this module by typing pip install PySimpleGUI in your command prompt or terminal. I think the best way to explain how this library works is to show you first a very simple GUI along with the complete code. Once you understand how this module works, we will build our final application. So let me execute the Python script and walk you through the code. We have a straightforward GUI with 2 input fields and 2 buttons here. To create this application, I have imported PySimpleGUI as SG. The layout of the application is a list of lists. Let me explain this. The first list will create the first row of our GUI. I've got here a text element with first name and next to it an input field. One important thing to notice here is the key. We will need this key to retrieve the values from the input field. I will show you what I mean by this in just a moment. The second row is very similar to the first one. And finally, we've got two buttons. Once we have our layout, we can initialize the window. Additionally, you could also set the title for the GUI. The last step is to use a while loop to listen to any event of the GUI, meaning when you click X, the event when closed will be triggered. Or if you click the exit button, the exit event will be triggered. In that case, we will break the while loop and close the window. If you click on the read button instead, PySimpleGUI will print out the event and values. So the event was read and the values are stored in a dictionary. The dictionary's key is the same key we have specified in the input field. And the values are our input. As you remember, when we generated our Word document, we also used the Python dictionary. So let us now combine our knowledge to create the final application. Therefore, I will copy this simple example and paste it next to our Word template. As a first step, I will change the layout. In the first row, I will ask for the client name. The key must match the name of the Word template. For example, we have also used client in all capital letters in our placeholder. Okay, so let me also write down the other input fields. Once done, I will change the window title and justify the element to the right side of the GUI. Within the loop, I will also change the event name to our button name. After those changes, let me execute the script and check how our GUI looks so far. You will notice that I have not included the calculated fields like today's date, the date in 1 week, and the non-refundable amount. Back in the script, I will now combine the GUI with the docxtpl module. As seen before, I will import datetime, path from pathlib, and the docs template from docxtpl. After the imports, I will set the path to our Word template. With our file path, I will initialize the docs template object. Like in the previous example, I will set today's date and the date in 1 week. With that in place, I'm going to add this information, so our calculated fields, to our dictionary. First, I will insert the non-refundable amount, 20% of the user's input. Then I will inject the two dates we have calculated earlier. Now we've got all the information to substitute the placeholders. So let me render the document and save it to the current directory. As before, I will use an f string to concatenate the vendor name. Last but not least, I would like to notify the user that the file has been saved. We could do this with a simple pop-up message. Okay, and that is all there is to it. So let me execute the script and whoops, I've got a little bug here. The parentheses should close after the amount. Okay, and after this quick fix, we will have our GUI application. Let me test it by inserting some data into the user form and pressing the Create Contract button. Our application will then inform the user that the file has been saved. And indeed, in the same directory, we have our filled out Word document. But there's one slight tweak I want to make to our script. After generating the Word document, I would like to clear the user input so that the user can start with a new input form. Therefore, I will set do not clear to false within each input field. After this change, let me save the script and rerun the code. This time, when we press the Create Contract button, the input fields have been cleared. Now that we have our final program, you might want to share it with colleagues or friends. And perhaps they do not have Python installed on their machine. One solution is to convert our Python script to a standalone executable file. For this, I will be using the PSG compiler. You can install this module by typing pip install PSG compiler in your command prompt or terminal. Once the installation is done, you just need to type PSG compiler to run this program. Mike, the creator of the PySimpleGUI library, also has developed this solution. He has built a graphical user interface to convert Python programs to binary files. Under the hood, this module is using the PyInstaller module. You could specify many options, but we will keep it simple here. Just click on Browse and select the Python script you want to convert. I will leave the default settings and click on Convert. This process might take some time, but you will find your executable file next to your Python script once done. Let me also test this out by executing our application. After filling out the input fields and pressing the Create Contract button, we've got our generated Word document. Okay guys, and that is all for this tutorial. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.